week about some of the mistakes we made the first time we came through. So hopefully some of you do not make the same mistakes. I'm sure a lot of these mistakes have already been covered in other videos by other people, but I'd like to talk about our own experience. So number one, don't start with males. When we first started and we got our very first ball pythons, we got 3 males without even any consideration for what we'd have to buy to make what we made. We just picked up our little book and saw what 2 items needed to be mixed together in order to make what we wanted to make and know our goals. One of my goals was a blue-eyed Lucy, because back in the day, blue-eyed Lucy was like $1,700 and I just love blue, so I really wanted one. So I got myself a lesser male because he was like $300 at the time. Yes, $300 for a lesser male, and that was a really good price. So we had our $300 male, but I really wanted a lesser Mojave blue-eyed Lucy, and there was no Mojaves to be found at the time. We looked everywhere for a female Mojave in the area, or, well, online wasn't really so much of a thing back then. You had to like find them around you. And we ended up, took like 8 months to find her. And we found her about 4 hours from here at a little tiny Columbus reptile show. And she was like $7 for a Mojave female, single gene, around 500 grams, and I think we negotiated them down to like, what'd you say, 550? 550. So we brought her home, so excited. I just was just so loving it. And we got her home, and she wouldn't eat. She would not eat anything that we did. And we bred rats at the time, which is one of our other mistakes that we'll cover later in one of our future videos. So if you want to get into breeding rats, you can hear all of the little horror stories and what not to do. I'll cover that in the future. But we got her home, and she was a mouser. They never said she was a mouser, but she was a mouser. And she went weeks without eating. And we finally got her to eat like 1 mouse. But we were never going to get her up to breeding size. And so here we are, like $800 into our Blue-Eyed Lucy project with a bunch of males. My point to the story is make sure what you're wanting to go for, because if you try and determine what you're going to want and you don't have the correct females to males, then you're never going to get there, and you're going to end up having to go buy more males to get to your project because you didn't plan it ahead of time. So plan ahead of time, know what your goals are, and work along the same project.